Hi guys, it's Ray here from Man City Fan TV. Pretty unusual surroundings for me today. I'm in my youngest boy's bedroom, which we're doing up at the moment. I've got to start off this video by saying a big, massive thanks to Andy. He's been working so hard with his job over in Lithuania and putting out videos after videos after videos, whilst I've been stuck in North Wales at a conference. Couldn't really get out of it because I was part of the organising committee and we've been working on it for 2 years, and fingers crossed there'll be millions of kids all over the world who benefit from the work we've been doing this week. But as I said, Andy's worked his tail off this last week while I've been away, and I've not even had time to watch some of the content he's been putting out. But I've sat down this morning and watched the Sharon Latham interview series. Absolutely joy to watch, fantastic. Sharon comes across so well. Andy's interviews, I've said it to him before, he's great at these interviews and I absolutely loved it. So if you haven't watched it, take a tip from me. Give yourself about 45 minutes to an hour, sit down, watch them all. Absolutely fantastic. A little snapshot into a city's history over the last 10 years or so. Absolutely brilliant. And I'll be watching them again some point today or tomorrow if I get the time. Today I'm going to talk about Phil Foden and the potential new contract with him. Milenkovic, rumours about him and Tongi and Ndombele again mentioned in the press. VAR in the Champions League, I'll have a quick word about that. Some brief comments from Jason Denayer about why he had to leave City. And we'll finish off by talking about our fantastic captain Vincent Kompany and his testimonial pledge. Right, Phil Foden. Well, going back to my time away at my conference, I stumbled in the early hours on Wednesday morning. It was Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and I'd been following the game on Twitter and reading Andy's comments, and obviously on the BBC website just to see what the score during our dinner. And I just wanted to see the game. I was desperate to see the game. There's so many good things said about Foden. He'd scored a goal, his first goal for City. He'd laid on a goal, great passing. I really, really wanted to see what it was all about. And unfortunately, I watched, I think, on YouTube, a Russian channel. I looked somewhere else, trying to find a good commentary and actually good video on YouTube. And sadly, I didn't get the best video, and I didn't see Foden's fantastic pass out to Brahim Diaz for the first goal. So it was so late or early in the morning that I just gave up after a couple of searches on YouTube. I was desperate to watch it. I only managed to watch it properly yesterday. And just to think about Foden's performance, unbelievable for an 18-year-old kid. Okay, the opposition wasn't great, but some of the play he did, I can see him doing exactly the same against Barcelona or in the Premier League against Fulham or whoever he comes up against. So I don't think it was just that you could see a relatively easy opposition in Oxford. I think the boy will do wonders wherever he plays. And that ball out to Brahim Diaz, I can see him, as I said, doing that against anybody. You give him that half a second to do it. Brahim makes that same sort of run. The defender just doesn't track him for a fraction of a second, and yeah, he's in. So it was a brilliant performance. And there's talk in the press since that City are going to offer him a longer term improved contract. Whether that's obviously reading in the press, you don't know whether it's true or not, or it's just something they say to get clicks. But because I can't see it being that long ago since he had his latest contract, but you can see the way he's developing, the things that Pep's saying about him, that he'll be here for the next at least 10 years and develop on. It's going to be brilliant. And those 10 or 15 years that Foden's going to be around could be fantastic times for the lad, fantastic times for England as well, and obviously City. And not just based on that performance, I think if he can get just a couple more subs appearances, or even a start if he's really lucky in the Champions League or in the Premier League, I can see him knocking on the door for the England squad. I really believe he should have been called up last time, even just to as an observer or whatever. He should have been involved somehow. And you could have said, I mean, Gareth could have said he's not going to play, but he's going to be around the squad. He needs to be around that squad to develop. And hey, who knows? You know, if he's practicing and training with the squad with England, they might just think, yeah, the guy's good enough to play. Pep says he's good enough to play for England right now. And so I just want Southgate to take that next step. So yeah, the contract, it will be fantastic. I think, is it deserved? It's hard to say. We don't know what he's on at the moment and what he could be on. But if it's possible to tie the lad down like Edison, we tied him down for 6 years. If we can get Foden down for 6 or even 7 years, it would be absolutely fantastic. If he's ready to play now for the first team, it's only a matter of time. I think he'll get his minutes. I've said that all along. I think he'll get his minutes this season, and he'll keep developing under Pep Guardiola. I'll say it again, the best manager in the world, and he'll be where he needs to be. And come next season, I can see him getting more minutes again and starting to take over. Next is Milenkovic. It's a new name to many of us, I think, but that's been mentioned in I think in the Italian press. He's a Serbian international, only 20 years old, and he plays in defence, centre-back or right-back. And I think he played his first senior international for Serbia when he was only 18 years old. Now, he was at the World Cup with them this summer, played all 3 group games, and by most accounts, he was the best Serbian player out there. Now, as I said, he's only 20 years old, playing really well for Fiorentina in Italian Serie A. As well as quite a few of their players seem to be playing quite well at the start of the season. I think he's only played 6 games this season, scored a couple of goals as well, which is always nice for a defender. He's got that versatility. He can play, as I said, centre-back or right-back, and it seems that's the kind of player Pep seems to like. I think 1 or 2 options. You're either going to be absolutely brilliant at your position or be versatile. And we saw, even against Oxford, John Stones playing in as a defensive midfielder. We've got people like Denayer, who Pep recruited, and he can play. I think he's played right back, left back. He's even played as a defensive midfielder once or twice, I seem to recall from last season. So, you know, people like Zinchenko, who's playing left back or in midfield. So, and even Delph as well, left back and in midfield as well. So that versatility is a very, very good quality. Now, he's only moved to Fiorentina last season, the beginning of last season. So he played about 22 games for them last season in the league and half a dozen this season. Is that enough to warrant a high price tag? I have no idea really what the price tag would be. I'm guessing it's going to be at least 20-30 million euros. Any kid, young player, shows a bit of spark about them, shows a bit of quality, and the price just seems to rocket very, very quickly. So we really don't know what's going to happen with this kid. I see apparently we've had scouts out there to watch him, so it's just going to be watch this space or watch, it'll be end of the season. I can't see us knocking on the door in January for him. We've got enough central defenders at the moment. So it might be one for next summer when he'll be 21 years old. And a full season at Fiorentina under his belt is probably a lot better than being at City and playing with, well, I don't think he played with the EDS, but going out on loan from City or being in the first team squad and not playing many games and not getting many minutes. Far, far better to play a full season with Fiorentina. So if we're seriously interested in him, I can see next summer as quite possibly an ideal time to go and knock on Fiorentina's door and see if he's available. Next, I'm very briefly going to mention Tanguy Ndombele, who's playing for Lyon. You might have seen him play against City as we lost 2-1 at home in the first match in the group stages of the Champions League this season. And I'm only going to mention him briefly because he's mentioned in the press again a couple of times this week that we're interested in him, that we're watching him, and fingers crossed in the next few days we're going to get a very exclusive interview. I don't know what the difference is between exclusive and very exclusive, but we're going to get an exclusive interview with our man in Lyon, our journalist friend Eddie Hessine in Lyon, and fingers crossed we'll get some privileged information from him. And we'll try and get that out in the next few days. But Tanguy Ndombele, just keep your eyes and ears open. You know, if you've not hit that bell icon or subscribed already, please subscribe now. Hit that bell icon so you are notified as soon as our new videos come out, and you can be one of the first to see that video on Tanguy Ndombele, that exclusive video. Quick mention about VAR. It looks like it's coming in next season in the Champions League. It's a shame Many clubs voted against it in the Premier League. I think it's about time it's everywhere, because we still see silly, simple mistakes at times being made. I still don't, I mean, people complain, or the assistants still make mistakes even with VAR or with the video technology, but that's down to human error. And I think you can eliminate most human error if you do have video technology in use. We've seen it with the goal line technology. You're eliminating that human error. You can't eliminate all human error, because obviously the video reviews are a little bit subjective as well. But you'll eliminate hopefully the glaring errors on offsides and maybe some handballs and some fouls and some red card decisions. And I think you'll get nearer and nearer and nearer to the right decisions in most cases. And I still think you'll get the odd decision where you can argue it's wrong and where there's a bit of subjectivity involved. But I think it's really important to get most decisions right. There's so much money involved. Players' careers can be on the line. Managers' careers definitely on the line if you make a mistake or if you make an incorrect decision. And we were at, the wrong end of it last season with Liverpool. And whatever you want to say, whether they were the better team, and probably, it's definitely in the first game they were. Those incorrect decisions obviously went against us, and they harmed us. And things could have been different. Can't take anything away from Liverpool. They beat us overall, and as I said, in that first game they were really red hot, and we were quite, I think in the first half, definitely quite poor. But you want more and more decisions to be right. You don't, I don't like Virgil van Dijk said, who cares? Liverpool were on the receiving end of a bad decision this week. Apparently I didn't watch the game, but apparently VAR may have helped them, and I can't see Virgil van Dijk saying who cares this time round. I just personally, I don't want to debate whether his decision's right or wrong later after the game, if the referee's made a mistake or not. I would much rather the decision is correct first time, and pretty much every time. As I said, you'll still get the odd one that's made subjectively incorrectly, but if you get most of them right, I think that's the main thing in my book. Jason Denayer. Well, obviously he left City and went to Lyon. I think in a cut price deal, I think it was €6.5 million or £6.5 million, something like that, which I think was quite cheap for the lad. But he's come out and not slagged us off, but he's just telling it how it is. I think in the French press, and he basically said he'd been out on loan for 4 seasons, and he wanted some stability. He didn't want to be, I won't say messed around, but moved around. He wanted somewhere where he could look at the future, and he could see the next few years at a particular club where he could learn and develop properly rather than move around. I mean, he's been to Celtic, he's been to Sunderland, disastrous time at Sunderland. He's been over in Turkey, I think, with Galatasaray for a season or two. So he just wants to settle down and see where his future is. And he also said he needs to play. Being at City, he wouldn't have played. He needs to be somewhere where he's in the spotlight, and I think he believes that at Lyon he is in the spotlight. They're a big enough club to be noticed, so he's noticed because he wants to get back playing for Belgium. So by playing for Lyon, he'll be in the limelight again. He'll have a lot more visibility playing at Lyon. He'll be noticed again, and if he does well at Lyon, he hopes that will get him back into Belgium's in the Belgium squad, Belgium first team plans. The last thing I'm going to mention is Vincent Kompany. Now, you may have heard him talk about his new charity he sets up with Andy Burnham, the mayor of, I think it's Greater Manchester. I'm not totally sure of his title. But they've set up this charity to raise money to go towards the, I think there's a fund for a homelessness fund at the mayor's office in Manchester. And I think the idea is they want to eliminate homelessness in Manchester, or whether it's Manchester or Greater Manchester, within the next, I think it's by 2020 or 2022, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact details about when they want to eliminate when Andy Burnham wants to eliminate homelessness by. Great cause. I mean, I've actually been in touch with the charity, volunteering my time. And I remember when I left Manchester to go and live in France about 8-9 years ago, homelessness across the region was an issue. It was a problem, And upon my return, it looks a lot worse. I see a lot more people. It's quite sad, really, begging on the streets, outside supermarkets, and it breaks my heart. And it seems a lot worse than it was 8 to 9 years ago when I left the area. And I've said something needs to be done about it. And Vincent Kompany, what a great guy. I mean, you can't, if you, a lot of opposition fans, they may not like City for whatever reason, but they like and respect Vincent Kompany. And whether you don't like City, whether you like City or not, whether you're opposition fans or not, you've got to respect the man. He's a great captain for City, in not just on the pitch and what he does off the pitch. He's a Mancunian now. You know, he said he was born in Belgium, but he's raised in Manchester. He's a great guy, and this charity is well worth his support and our support. There's going to be, I think, 3 main events this season where the profits will be channeled into the Mayor's Homelessness Fund. I think there's going to be a gala dinner. There's going to be something called a Football Friday. I think with lots of events going on. I think it's a Football Friday. And there's going to be, I think, the testimonial at the end of the season, where all the proceeds or all the profits from the testimonial will be going to the fund. So absolutely fantastic that he's doing this. It's not going to be short term. You know Vincent. Vincent's a Mancunian now. He's an adopted Mancunian. His wife, his family, right now, they're Mancunians. And he'll be here long after he's finished his playing career at City. And I think this is something he's going to be involved with Manchester and the area for a very, very long time. And I salute him. I respect him for this. You know, a lot of footballers don't do anything like this, get involved with the charitable causes and foundations. Others do, and you know, they put in different amounts of their efforts and their time and their resources. But I can see Vinny throwing everything of himself into this, because it's his city, it's our city, you know, and I don't think he's not going to care whether you're a blue or a red supporter. He's in it, I believe, for the right reasons, and you've got to love the man for it and respect him even more. So if you can get involved, go and have a look. Check out their website. I think it's an absolutely great idea, and get involved if you can. Support any of the events if you possibly can. It will absolutely be fantastic, and you know, working together. Let's see if in the next few years we can't make a big impact against homelessness across the region. If you haven't subscribed, guys, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Go and check out Andy's great series with Sharon Latham. Absolutely love the woman. You know, it comes across fantastically well, the way she interacts with the players and works with them and helps them and becomes a friend to so many players, even after many years after she's left. Get ready for, hopefully, our Tongi and Ndombele exclusive video in the next few days. Hopefully we can pull that off. A few strings to pull there just to make sure that all happens. And if you're at Brighton tomorrow, come and say hello. We would love to have you come and get interviewed, get your opinions across, talk about anything to do with City, talk about the Lyon game the other week, talk about how to get more fans engaged in the club and go to matches, ticket prices, singing and chanting and cheering, and what to do about people leaving early. We can't force them to stay. It's all about opinions, and people have their own choice to make. Whatever you want to talk about, and if you want, and obviously talk about the Brighton game, talk about Sergio Aguero's extended contract, where will he finish in the Premier League list of top goal scorers by the time he leaves City? What else could he win at City? There's so many different things to talk about right now. Come up to us. We'll be there probably around about noon, fingers crossed, for a 3 o'clock start. They're always there nice and early. Just come. Normally we hang around the Blue Moon Cafe, wherever there's food. We're there. And yeah, just come around, have a chat, get your opinion across out there to the thousands of Blues who want to hear what the ordinary fan has to say. See you around, Blues.